Hello, my name is Anne, your guide to when animals get even. If you like bloodthirsty animals getting back at humanity, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Today's animal has some thoughts about being a pet kept around the small children. It's ferrets. We'll start in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to warn you guys right now, you're probably not going to like this story. I didn't like this story. It was traumatic to read about, to look up, but I'm trying to give you the full picture of animal attacks and everything that happens with that. So, fair warning, it's a rough one. I want to give you the full picture here, so we're going to start with the background. First things first, we have a family that was helped by Delaware County Child and Youth Services. They've already been helped by this organization before. It sounds like some kind of CPS type thing where they're trying to keep the family together. The family included 5 children under the age of 5 years old, and authorities described the condition of the house as deplorable. They didn't release any more information than that. So we kind of have an idea of the struggles this family is potentially going through. So here's the story. The baby was placed in her car seat and she was left on the floor in the home while the mom went to the bathroom. While mom is using the bathroom, 2 of the family's pet ferrets escape from their cage and go after the baby.
When I came down, she was like right here holding the baby, not moving, you know what I mean? She was like more like just hysterical, screaming.
She gets downstairs and she realizes what's going on. She got the baby up, she called 911, and by this time, the baby had lost 25% of her face.
Kept yelling, oh God, help me, the baby's dying.
She's in the intensive care unit down there, and she's able to breathe through 2 stents in her nose.
Darby's police chief saying the child was rushed to the hospital and underwent life-saving surgery after her parents called 911. The ferrets ate at least 25% of the baby's face, and she has a lifetime of surgeries ahead.
Yeah, 25%. The baby's father was supposedly asleep upstairs and purportedly heard nothing at all. How does this happen? Well, ferrets are like huskies in that they are known to be escape artists. If a ferret can fit its head through something, it can fit the rest of its body through that thing. It doesn't matter how improbable it looks via physics, as if its head can go through, the rest of it can go through. This is a home already in crisis, as we know from the background information. And ferrets are predators. They're predatory animals. They can take down prey that is twice their size. Typically, if you have a family already in crisis, the pets are pretty low on the priorities of the totem pole, but I don't know that that's exactly what the situation or circumstances were. The baby went into the ICU. She's alive. She's okay. The ferrets were, of course, euthanized, which sucks, but again, I don't know what condition the ferrets were in. It's impossible to say like, oh, the ferrets are entirely at fault. There's no way to know. Based on the sociological implications of their background, I would think that probably the ferrets were not in good shape, and that's probably a large factor in why they did what they did. But I don't know. I'm not a, full-on ferret expert. A direct quote from an officer at the scene was, "I'm a cop. I've been one for 45 years, and this is the most horrific thing I've seen happen to a child in 45 years in this town." Yeah. It's a tough one, right? That's wasn't fun learning about. I always knew that being mustelids, ferrets were going to be super dangerous, because that's badgers, wolverines, minks, weasels. Cranky critters. But I don't think I realized like the depth of the danger that could be present if you have a ferret. What about you guys? Like, did you guys know how dangerous ferrets could be? Did you have any idea? Let me know in the comments. Now we have a bunch of weird stories. Like, I don't know how there are this many just free roaming ferrets running around, but apparently there are. A woman was sound asleep in her house when she gets woken up by something biting her face. And for whatever reason, she thinks, okay, this is my dog. But she wakes up and the dog is asleep next to her. So what is biting her face? Oh, it's just a ferret. She screams because this woman does not own a ferret. She does not own a ferret. She owns a dog. Why is there a ferret biting her in the face? Her husband wakes up. They fling it out into the backyard. Okay. This ferret is not done. This ferret has personal business in this home. This ferret comes around, gets in through their doggy door, and then goes straight back to trying to bite the woman. So again, they throw it out again. And luckily, this time it stays out. I don't know if they, blocked the doggy door or what precisely happened, but, yeah, that ferret was out for blood. Human blood. Now, in a different place and location, we have a guy who wakes up because something is biting his foot. We'll have to give this guy props. He was a real man because he very candidly said when this was being reported that, he screamed like a little girl when it happened. Those are his words. He screamed like a little girl when it happened. And it took him about 20 seconds or so to actually shake the ferret off of him. That's how, latched on it was. Once he had the animal off of him, the ferret took his TV remote and savaged it. I don't actually know what they mean by that. I assume savaging a TV remote means leaving it, mangled beyond repair, but I don't know what they actually mean by that. He stated that he assumed it had to be an escaped pet, which, I mean, I would hope so. I don't really know why it wouldn't be. Because I know that, there are wild ferrets, but they look pretty different from, well, to someone seasoned. They look different from their domesticated counterparts, so I don't know. But, how are there this many loose ferrets? Seriously, there's just a frenzy of ferrets running free, running wild, just biting people in their sleep. So weird. Breaking into people's houses and biting them at night. Okay. Then we have a woman on a mobility scooter. She was just driving along, out and about, on her scooter, and she was bitten in the leg by a ferret. The ferret would not let go of her, and she said she couldn't get it off until she started hitting it with her walking stick. Started hitting it with her cane. That eventually shook the ferret loose. She was on blood thinners, and as a result, she got really freaked out when it would not stop bleeding her leg. Which I've been on blood thinners, so yeah, it can be scary. You get bruised by strong gusts of wind, and if you get even a light scratch, a barely there scratch, it's gonna bleed, and it's gonna take its sweet time to stop. Alright, we're gonna go back to a traumatic story. We're going to Missouri. There's a baby, and there's 3 older siblings. The 3 older siblings got a ferret for Christmas. There's also there's a lot to unpack in this story, so I'm gonna do my best. Bear with me. Okay. Days before the accident, the couple reached out because they were looking for information for rehoming a ferret. They get put in touch with a ferret rescue representative, and there's a text message where the mom notes that the ferret has already nipped the baby a couple of times. Now, the story that the parents gave and the story that evidence suggests are wildly different. Cell phone data seems to indicate that neither parent was actually at the house when this happened. They were 2 different locations texting each other. Their story is that the mother was woken up at 2:30 a.m. by the baby screaming and crying. Okay. She gets in over there, and the ferret had eaten 7 of the baby's fingers. Yeah, the ferret took off 7 of the baby's fingers and ate them. Yeah. So Mom starts screaming. This causes Dad to wake up. Dad gets out there, he sees this, he throws the ferret into a wall or something, which sends it off this mortal coil. For the baby boy, it's been reported that they're going to try a procedure where they take some of the toes off of the foot, and I don't know if transplant is the right word, but they're going to attach them here. They're going to elongate them slightly to sort of turn them into fingers, and hopefully he can live not a normal, but a more normal life when he gets older. And at the moment, all of the kids are living with the grandmother.
Ryan Waldo opted to plead guilty and let the judge decide. Waldo won't be serving any time, but he will be on probation for 2 years, which includes 40 hours of community service. Also, Waldo cannot have any direct contact with children under 17 unless there's consent from the parents. Plus, he is required to successfully complete parenting classes.
The family has had other issues in the past, like with their dogs, and then they didn't get the appropriate, there's a $100 license that you have to get when you own an exotic animal, and apparently ferrets count as that where they are, and they didn't get that before they got the ferret. Authorities didn't really explain anything about what the situation was with the ferret's care either, like what condition it was in or anything like that. I should have looked into this, but I didn't. But I don't know enough about ferret care and socialization to know if, like, is it because they didn't get 2 ferrets? Did they need to get 2 ferrets to help them socialize and entertain each other and keep that from happening? Was the ferret just too young? Like, what prompted the incident? There's not good information on that. Here's what I think we learned. If you, for whatever reason, have an unstable home situation with multiple young children, do not get a pet ferret. A pet ferret is not for you. Get a fish. Get a fish. Don't get the ferret. Don't get any pet at all, but if you have to get a pet, if you are so determined to get a pet that you're going to do it anyway, get a fish. That is not to say fish are worth any less than any other pets. Just saying, as far as harming your children, a fish is the least likely to do that. If you do not know how to properly care for a ferret, educate yourself. You can go to the library and get free books on it. You can go to the library and use a computer and look up stuff about it. You can go to the library and find some phone numbers for local nonprofits in your area. If you're in a city, chances are there's going to be some sort of animal rescue that has experience with ferrets. And chances are they're going to be very willing to help you to make sure that everyone, including the ferret, stays safe and healthy and happy. Also, properly secure your home whenever you sleep. This includes closing off all doggy doors and I don't know, the windows and stuff. Just don't let ferrets have an in for your house, I guess, is the lesson. If you liked this video and you want more bloodthirsty animal content, then subscribe right meow. I am here Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Bye. Don't get any pet at all, but if you have to get a pet, if you are so determined to get a pet that you're going to do it anyway, get a fish. That is not to say fish are worth any less than any other pets. Just saying, as far as harming your children, a fish is the least likely to do that. If you do not know how to properly care for a ferret,